February 22, 1972, U.S. President Richard Nixon made an historic trip to Beijing, reopening the door to China for the first time since the communist takeover in 1949. Nixon's trip was earth-shaking because the U.S. did not even have diplomatic relations with Red China, a country which had been a Cold War enemy for over 2 decades. And Nixon himself had always been fervently anti-communist. But Nixon realized that this was an opportunity to alter the landscape of world politics and to make history. Nixon met with Chairman Mao Zedong and Premier Zhou Enlai. The aim of the meetings, Nixon said, was to seek normalization of relations between the two countries and also to exchange views on questions of concern to the two sides.
The Great Wall is no longer a wall dividing China from the rest of the world, but it is a reminder of the fact that there are many walls still existing in the world which divide nations and peoples. The Great Wall is also a reminder that for almost a generation, there has been a wall between the People's Republic of China and the United States of America. In these past 4 days, we have begun the long process of removing that wall between us.
The president summed up the optimistic tone of the meetings when proposing a toast.
And to all of our Chinese friends here tonight and our American friends, and to that friendship between our two peoples to which Chairman Chang has referred so eloquently.
Just before the president left Shanghai to return to the U.S., a 1,500-word joint communique was released, containing the substance of the week's talks. The U.S. and China acknowledged the differences in their social systems, but they found agreement on 4 broad areas. They would progress toward the normalization of relations, and they would try to keep the world from engaging in an international war. On the question of Taiwan, Nixon committed himself to the ultimate objective of the withdrawal of all United States forces and military installations from Taiwan. And although the U.S. did not intend to stop defending the anti-communist regime in Taiwan, the risk of war over the island was reduced. Premier Zhou Enlai also spoke in optimistic tones about the Nixon visit.
In the past few days, President Nixon met with Chairman Mao Zedong, and our two sides held a number of further talks in which we exchanged views on the normalization of relations between China and the United States and on other questions of concern to the two sides. There exists great difference of principle between our two sides. Through earnest and frank discussions, a clearer knowledge of each other's positions and stand has been gained. This has been beneficial to both sides.
Nixon's visit to Beijing not only ushered in new Chinese-American relations, but it helped to split the Red Bloc of China and the USSR. As Russia saw the U.S. and China begin to normalize relations, Russia itself began to make more overtures toward the U.S., leading to a new era characterized by détente. Nixon visited Moscow in May of 1972, and after that, the United States and Russia maintained a policy of negotiating on major issues. Tensions between the two superpowers were reduced, and profound changes in world politics had been created, all thanks to Nixon's historic trip to China on February 22, 1972.